Hello. It is a pleasure to share my research with you today, and thank you to the CMA for creating this opportunity for its members. I will interrogate how social context influences the community music experience, focusing on how social capital and locality influence the membership and sustainability of community choirs in Northern Ireland. Ethnomusicology, particularly the area of local musicking, researches how locality influences musical practices. Where a group performs and rehearses impacts who will attend and participate in the events. Locality may also influence who will support a group, either by providing sponsorship or performance opportunities. In a space where there has been intense violence, such as Belfast, almost every street has a historical connection, either to conflict or a particular community, Catholic or Protestant. Two communities that differ on religious, political, historical, and social grounds, with anthropologists arguing that they be considered as two separate ethnic communities. The most recent conflict, the Troubles, occurred between 1968 and 1994. However, the legacy of a centuries-old struggle is embedded in the city. For example, a member of one of the choirs I participated in joked how you needed a passport just to travel to the next street in Belfast. My findings are based on PhD research conducted between 2013 and 2018 with 5 community choirs in Northern Ireland. There were 2 female groups, one from a Protestant town, the other a Catholic area of Belfast, a Protestant male voice choir, an inclusive cross-community choir, and a multicultural singing group. Community music is seen as an intervention through facilitation, whilst ethnographic research involves participant observation, acknowledging the impact the researcher has by engaging with the musical group, but focusing on learning and understanding current practices rather than actively changing them. Whilst not an intervention, my research focuses on the voices of the participants, recognized by Howell as a gap in current research into music participation and conflict settings. Community music and applied ethnomusicology have shown to support community development, but deeper understandings drawn from ethnographic research can help provide insight into some of the factors that affect the success or failure of an initiative. For example, this research shows how social context and social capital influence opportunities for cross-community exchange. Social capital, as defined by Bourdieu, consists of networks of social relationships that can be drawn upon for support. He argues, the volume of social capital possessed by a given agent depends on the size of the network of connections he can effectively mobilize and on the volume of capital possessed in his own right by each of those to whom he is connected. Within Belfast, social capital is built largely within the sectarian community that one has been raised. This is evident in how facilitator C describes the formation of her singing group. She says, I needed an organization that was big enough to kickstart it, so I knocked on the door of the guy who was running an annual Irish music festival at the time and said, me and 40 women, how about it? There was a woman who just ran with it. She was well connected and encouraged all the women she knew to come and sing. Social capital is evident in this example. This facilitator capitalized on an organization already in existence for support, and through the powerful social capital of an employer, built the membership of the choir. Subsequently, whenever members were organizing an event, they invited the choir to perform, building their reputation within the community and recruiting more members from within that audience. Social capital determined that the bulk of the membership fell within the Catholic community. The findings with the 2 choirs in Protestant areas were similar. Some areas of Belfast remain divided. 2 of the choirs that I studied rehearsed a 5-minute drive from each other, yet one's position on the Protestant Shankill Road and the other on the Catholic Falls Road influenced who felt safe to be in that area. The Multicultural Choir was located near Queen's University in a more neutral, yet middle-class space. The Multicultural Choir consisted of immigrants to Belfast, but membership reflected the middle-class nature of where they rehearsed, comprising primarily international university students and staff and medical doctors. Performances took place at the university or events organized by the local Indian community, again demonstrating how the membership, audience, and performance opportunities were all within the network where people held social capital. It was difficult for the group to find performances opportunities outside this limited network. This, combined with a highly mobile membership, resulted in the group disbanding in 2016. The group was unable to effectively mobilize, drawing attention to issues of social capital for the immigrant population in Belfast. The Inclusive Choir had the largest cross-community membership. They rehearsed in a Catholic area of town, but balanced this with occasional rehearsals on the Protestant Shankill Road. They rarely performed in these areas, participating in choir festivals instead, because their facilitator felt that by focusing on the quality of performances, she was able to overcome many societal perceptions surrounding disability. The focus on the art form to support musical participation in conflict areas is suggested by Howell. However, the strong connection with inclusivity was what most of the choir members considered the defining characteristic of this choir, highlighting one instance where the focus on a shared ethos resulted in successful cross-community engagement. The focus on an ethos, a characteristic spirit, was apparent in all the choirs in my research. It enabled participants to explore aspects of themselves that moved beyond sectarianism. However, all the other choirs felt reluctant to move beyond their locality, with one participant sharing that understanding Protestants will come to our area. The deep divides in a city such as Belfast make the creation of safe, neutral spaces for cross-community engagement difficult. It is vital to acknowledge that any intervention is a slow process, requiring time and commitment by both funders and facilitators. My recommendation, in line with Haskell's observations, is for further applied research initiatives to focus on constructing safe spaces for musical groups to rehearse and perform, followed by careful reflection on how social capital of the membership shapes the identity of the group. This may lead towards cross-community engagement that has a lasting impact for community music groups and their wider social networks. Thank you.